What happened at your school that still doesn't feel real? I was halfway through the state exam when my prosthetic hand started malfunctioning. In just seconds, my fingers were curling in on itself. Mr. Rogers, I gasped as the motors whined. Something's wrong with my prosthetic. Mr. Rogers didn't even glance up from his clipboard. State testing protocol. No disruptions, no exceptions. The mechanical fingers were digging into the palm now. The pressure was way beyond what it should be. This is a medical emergency. The safety features aren't working. How convenient. He finally looked at me. Your prosthetic just happens to break during the most important test of the year? Crack. One of the plastic joints in the thumb snapped. It's literally breaking apart. Then you should have taken better care of your equipment. The prosthetic hand was designed to grip with the same pressure as a normal human hand, but it was squeezing way harder than that now. Please just let me disconnect it because there's an emergency release button. Touch that device and you fail automatically since no electronic devices are allowed during state exams. Destiny, who was sitting next to me, leaned over and whispered with concern in her voice, "Is that smoke coming from your arm?" Gray fog was rising from my wrist joint where the motors were overheating, and the smell of burning plastic filled my nostrils while the heat spread up my forearm. Mr. Rogers, it's literally on fire! Stop being dramatic when we only have 17 minutes left. The prosthetic hand suddenly jerked open with all 5 fingers shooting straight out, then slammed back into a fist with so much force that my desk cracked under the impact. It felt like someone was trying to unscrew my arm from my body. "Oh my gosh!" Willie shouted from the back row as he jumped to his feet. "We need to get him help now before something worse happens." "Silence!" Mr. Rogers roared with his face turning red. "The next person who speaks gets expelled from the district." Jane from 2 rows over was frantically texting under her desk while trying to stay hidden. "I'm calling my mom because she's a nurse at the hospital. Phone now." Mr. Rogers marched toward her with his hand extended. I tried reaching for the emergency release with my left hand, but my fingers were shaking too badly to grip a small button properly. The prosthetic was rotating now, with the entire hand spinning way past its normal range of motion. Blood ran down my arm and dripped onto the test paper. "Someone call 911!" Destiny was crying as she jumped up and ran for the door in desperation. Mr. Rogers moved quickly to block her path. "Sit down immediately or you're suspended for the rest of the year." "He's bleeding and needs medical attention," she screamed directly in his face. "Everyone needs to put their phones away now because state testing violations will be prosecuted to the fullest extent." 3 more students stood up simultaneously, and Josh, the quarterback who'd never gotten in trouble before, stepped into the aisle with determination. "This is insane, and you need to let him get help before it's too late. You want to lose your football scholarship, Josh? Then sit down and be quiet." Every forced rotation sent lightning bolts of pain through my nerves, while the burning smell grew stronger. "Just rip it off and get it over with," someone yelled from the corner. I couldn't do that. The titanium post was surgically implanted directly into my bone after 8 months of procedures, drilled right into the marrow. Katie was crying while banging on the window to get someone's attention in the hallway. "Help! Somebody please help us! He's dying!" Mr. Rogers marched over to where I was writhing in my seat. "This ridiculous performance ends right now. Don't touch it!" I screamed as loud as I could. "Mr. Rogers, no!" Multiple students yelled in unison as they saw him reaching for my arm, but he grabbed the prosthetic wrist with both hands. "I've had enough of your attention-seeking behavior and fake emergencies," he yanked with all his strength. The sound that came out of me wasn't human. He didn't just pull off a prosthetic like taking off a glove. He ripped out the metal post drilled into my bone, chunks of muscle tissue, and connected nerves. Blood sprayed across 3 desks. I hit the floor hard, clutching what was left of my arm with my remaining hand. "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" Multiple voices were screaming at once. "Nobody move!" He was backing away slowly while still holding my prosthetic like he couldn't believe what he'd done. His face had turned completely white. "State testing protocol says..." Willie was slamming his full body weight against the door repeatedly. "It's locked! Why the hell? Is it locked?" "Automatic locks engage during testing periods, and no one leaves for 13 more minutes." Josh and 3 other football players rushed toward Mr. Rogers at once. "Give us your keys right now! Stay back or you're all getting expelled and losing your futures." My vision started tunneling to black while the pain reached levels beyond description. "Stay with me and keep your eyes open." Destiny was slapping my face gently. "Don't you dare close your eyes." More students were pounding on the door from both sides, and someone picked up a desk chair with determination. "Don't you dare break that," Mr. Rogers started to say. Crash! The window shattered into 1,000 pieces as the chair went through it. Bang! The door suddenly exploded open, and the janitor stood there holding a set of master keys. His eyes widened as he took in the scene of blood and chaos. "What the F? Call 911 now!" Everyone screamed at once. At the hospital, I had to go through 3 surgeries. First one just to save my life. Second, to repair what they could. Third, to prepare for a new prosthetic someday. I had 40% blood loss. Any more and I wouldn't have made it. Mr. Rogers was arrested in the parking lot, my prosthetic still in his hand, my tissue still hanging from it. The state testing board gave him paid leave, but that wasn't enough. He tore my arm off, so I was ready to tear apart his life, limb by limb. Full story on channel, link